And what we're looking at right here is Nehemiah. Now, the reason why I'm looking at Ezra and Nehemiah, these books, very briefly, is because this is what the people had to do to return to their land. And some of these people, the diaspora or African American men in particular, are talking about leaving. It's time to get out of this country. And, personally, shoot, I have no problem with that. But the problem I am having, and of course, it doesn't matter what problem I have, what matters is what the Heavenly Father says. So, back in ancient times, I already talked about Ezra, who was a priest and a scribe. Now we're looking at Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a servant of the government, of the king. And he was upset that Ezra and the people who had returned were having a hard time. Now, I already read that Ezra, one of the rules the covenant he helped them to understand was that, hey, no foreign women. So Nehemiah is working with the king, and he's like upset, like, man, I want to go help because they're having trouble over there. My people are having trouble. Can I go help? And the king says, not only can you go help, I'll finance you. I'll give you some money for you to go. So Nehemiah goes over there, and I like Nehemiah. I like, of course I like both of them, but I like Nehemiah because Nehemiah started punching people upside the head. But anyway, that's my own, problem. But anyway, this is Nehemiah 13, and this is verse 23. And this is Nehemiah speaking. In those days saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. And I contended with them, and cursed them, and smote certain of them, and plucked off their hair, and made them swear by God, saying, You shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take their daughters unto your sons, or for yourselves. Did not Solomon king of Israel sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Now, of course, he is blaming women for stuff, but we've already seen from Ezra that when they went back to enforce the law, it wasn't because the women were outlandish. It was because they were from another nation. Well, actually, come to think of it, maybe that's what outlandish means from another land. So, okay. Starting at 23, and since it's short, I'll just read all of it. Starting at 27. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God in marrying strange wives? And one of the sons of Joiada, the son of Elishibib, the son of Eliashib, the high priest, was son-in-law to Sanballat the Horonite. Therefore I chased him from me. Remember them, O God, because they have defied the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. Thus cleansed I them from all strangers, and appointed the wards of the priests and the Levites, every one in his business, and for the wood offering at times appointed, and for the first fruits. Remember me, O my God, for good. Now, it could be that in this particular point, he was just chasing the foreign women out, or telling the Levites and the priests that they had to get rid of the foreign women. But we already saw in Ezra that it was not just the priests, it was all of them. Because it really wouldn't make any sense for you to say, okay, you Levites and priests, you can't have foreign women, but all you regular people, you can have them, when the regular people would far outnumber the priests. So that's not even logical. So when I look at things like this, now this is Keke Wyatt right here, giving her apology. Now to me, I don't know if it's her makeup, but most people are like a shade of pink when they're really light, but she is kind of white, like they put chalk on her or something. But in any case, she's here apologizing, and Philip is stating that, her apology should not be accepted. But I have looked at Philip, and Philip is also talking about, well, it's time to get out of this land, but he wants to take his wife and children. Okay, I myself, I'm just a regular person. I can't tell anybody what to do one way or the other. But if you take your wife and children, wouldn't you be the same as just taking her? I mean, even this group here, the only one I'm pretty sure is actually black is her, Vivica Fox, and Vivica Fox was the main one defending her and saying, well, I think this is what she was saying. It must be that those people annoyed you to the point where you just had to act out and say something. So, the thing is, when the people in biblical times managed or were allowed by the Most High to return to their land, they had to relearn things. Ezra had to bring out the books of Moses and explain to them, hey, this is what has been said, this is what has been written, and this is what your ancestors agreed to. Now, if you do it, we'll be fine. We will be the heads and not the tails. But if you don't, we're going to fall, and we're going to fall hard. So I look at this, and like I said, I'm not sure about her. I'm not sure who she is. But, well, when you look at this, I'm not going by the current definition of what black is, because that is a definition that was forced upon us or was given to us, and some of us used to our advantage. And it basically it says that anybody with even a speck of black ancestry is black, which is the opposite of what you saw in the books of Ezra and Nehemiah. So when you look at this, there's only one person here I could really say, okay, I'm pretty sure you're black. And I'm going by the, as far as appearance, I tend to go by what was it? What group I'm talking about. This was the light-skinned people who separated themselves from other people who were called black. And what they said is you had to be you had to be lighter than a paper bag. So as far as who here is lighter than a paper bag, I kind of think these three right here, would not qualify. Now I would say, like I said, Vivica Fox, and I'm not sure who she is, but the point is, if people like Philip, if we were able to get another land, and I do think that eventually we will get reparations and we will get out of here. But if they simply bring the same habits, if they still say, well, I'm black, but I married this woman, and even though she's lighter than a paper bag and she's got long straight hair, but she says she not white like the other white folks, well, I should be allowed to bring her. Okay, well then you bring her. And you have a lot of other people who bring the same thing. And then they all get together and mate. And you're whiting yourself out. And, if you want to white yourself out, that's one thing, but you're whiting out the entire race. And that's something totally different. So I think that black people have to be re-educated the same way those people, when they wanted to go back to their land, had to be re-educated. And it wasn't like a university education. It wasn't like a correspondence course. They had to open up the Bible and read what their ancestors did. They had to re-look at that covenant they had made with the Most High. Now, I myself am tired of being on the bottom. I'm tired of weak men. I'm tired of being told that, well, you're a woman, we're going to put all the work on you, but, you don't even count. That's silliness. And I also believe, hey, we are not getting out of here successfully until like it says, every knee will bow. And that means following certain rules. Okay? And I don't know if it has been any of your experiences, but one thing I will say for mixed people, light-skinned people, biracials, multiracials, they stick together. They really do. You cannot go and talk to a light-skinned person and say something negative about another light-skinned person without them backing them up or telling you that you are jealous. So I think that as identifiably black people, I think that we need to somehow develop that same kind of loyalty. But in any case, I don't mean to ramble, rant. This is just something to consider. And I don't generally have anything against light-skinned people. Now, admittedly, light-skinned women do tend to get on my nerves a little bit because generally, light-skinned women do not think that anybody can possibly be attractive but them. If you are brown-skinned or dark-skinned and a man pays you any attention, they are going to say, well, it's because you got a fat behind, or it's because it's Tuesday, or because that I find very annoying. I also find it annoying that black men say any light-skinned woman is pretty. I don't care what she looks like. She can look like Casper the Friendly Ghost. She can look like, I don't know. She can look like she has painted her face with chalk. Doesn't matter. They will still say she is beautiful. And it can be a beautiful brown skin or dark woman sitting right there. They will ignore. I think that is because they have been brainwashed. They don't know it and they don't even care about it. But that is a totally different aside. But that kind of mindset would not fit if we were allowed to leave. Because if someone as dark as Phillip Scott married somebody or had somebody even her shade, that child would still probably be, since she is, let's say, only a quarter black, that child might still possibly come out looking more like her than him. And in any case, if you go back through Bible records, I think only people who could document that they were at least 51% black should be allowed to call themselves black. The Bible goes even further than that. I think that it says it has to be like the third or fourth generation of some nations. And other nations, he said just straight up, I don't care how far it goes. Like they said 10 or 11 generations. And I'll try to find that and bring that up to you too and show it to you. So you see I'm not just talking out of my head, because I don't want to just give you bad information. And really, I just want you to think about things and to examine things, especially if you call yourselves Hebrew-Israelites, Christians, or anybody who says that you believe in the Heavenly Father and the Son. Well, then you have to open the books and actually read them with your mind open, prayerfully. Because the Bible has so much information. It's very easy to read past something and think that it's not important, when actually it might answer a question that you really might need answered. So I hope that this has been, I think I didn't make my point that if Philip married somebody, well, he's already got a white wife. Let's say he goes to a new land with his white wife. His children are biracial. They would not be considered black under the law, under what you just read in Ezra. So you'd be bringing your same problem along with you. And that is what I think that most of our men would do, because they have been brainwashed. And because I really believe that during slavery, they did make a point of the strongest men. They lynched them, they killed them, and they did it out in the sight of everyone. And I think that our men had already had from Adam kind of a streak of wanting to look elsewhere, and all the things that happened after that did not help. So the only way to combat that waywardness is by following the Most High through His Son. So you guys have a great rest of your day.